Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm glad to welcome you all to our 18th International Training Session. Thank you for taking the time to join us from different parts of the world. I'm Fazla and I will be the host for today's session. It's my immense pleasure to introduce our trainer, Mr. Muhammad Liqman from Pakistan. He holds a master's degree in English literature. He has completed professional fellowship in curriculum design with policymakers. He is a US certified trainer, British IELTS examiner, IGCSE academic director at Altai British School, KSA, and holds a professional development diploma from Arizona State University. He is an experienced educator and counselor. He is specialized in English linguistics, curriculum development, and exam preparations for IELTS, PTE, OET, and TOEFL. He has organized seminars and professional development programs with Beyond and Relo Pakistan. I would like to thank Mr. Lukman for his contribution to our team. We are truly honored to have you with us, sir. Before we begin, let us quickly go over our rules. Please keep your microphone muted during the session to avoid background noise. You can use the chat box to share your thoughts and comments. At the end of the session, we will have a question and answer segment. At that time, you can ask your questions. Without any further delay, let's welcome Mr. Lukman. Sir, I'll turn it over to you now.
All right, thank you very much for such an incredible introduction, by the way. I'm highly grateful to you for a great introduction. And I'm also very much grateful for the CEO of this organization, the TalentHut program. And because of his contributions, we are now able to come close to each other from different part of the world, and we are learning from each other. This is a great chance for everyone, and I'm highly grateful and privileged and honor for me to be here right here as a trainer and be learning a lot of things right here from each other. Thank you once again to all the participants, audience who joined. And Arif Fazla, should I proceed or should we wait for the rest of the audience? I guess audience are coming and joining.
I think we can start. Let, let us
Okay,
start.
that's some. Okay, great. Okay. If there is something, if you want to share, so you can just raise hand. So I would definitely there, right? Okay, so we are about to start. I'm about to share the screen right here, and so today topic is very important. I would say it's really highly important topic. You can see here. So once again, welcome to all the audience here who joined this session for. And the topic we gonna have right here, it's something like lesson planning. I believe that lesson planning is very important for every teacher, not even every teacher, I would say for the policymaker, even though we can say for the trainers, for teachers, for directors, for every part of the organization, where they're working in the field of education or in the field of medicines, in the field of every, very important to be careful while planning something for the organization. Well, before I proceed, let's have some warm up and ice breaking activity only for 2 or 3 minutes. So we could just, I just love to listen from the audience that what actually comes in their mind when they listen to the uh, lesson plan. So the very first questions for brainstorming ideas, just to come up with the words that comes in your mind. As you had a glimpse on this point, have you ever entered a class without a lesson plan? So this is a volunteer like mentality. Anyone can come up and just share your insights about it. For example, when you enter into the class, what you feel without lesson plan, what comes in your mind when you don't have any backup or yes, anyone. It's gonna be for 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, something like we're gonna have, chit chats or we're gonna have some discussion about it.
Good evening.
You can
Good evening.
unmute yourself.
I feel like when I entered in the class without a lesson plan, like now what to teach for the students, immediately we
Uh-huh.
won't get any idea.
All right. Okay.
It
So
takes
then,
time.
how do you? And how do you feel, for example, if you face if you face a class of advanced level students like in university level, how do you feel? Like, do you feel something like, embarrassing like that?
Yeah, definitely we feel embarrassing. Then immediately we feel like, chalo, let's make a group and have a group discussion or debate topic. We'll give them randomly.
All right. Okay, great. Yes, next. Thank you very much for your insights. Yeah. Yes, please, quick, be quick, so we could discuss.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Can I participate?
All right.
Yes, I did. Not once, but many times.
Uh-huh.
But actually, I depend on the BBTs that I have prepared without a lesson plan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I can work on it without a lesson plan. I think it's burden for the teacher to have a
Yeah.
lesson plan and BBTs at the same time. Then
Yeah.
you just write a paper. But I can do it by
Yeah.
preparing a lesson plan from the first point to the last point, and I can put everything in the BBTs. Okay,
Uh-huh.
that's
Great.
that will give me time to think about the activities that I want,
Mm.
instead of spending hours just to write a lesson plan. And at the end, no one see this lesson plan, or no one can. I can use BBTs to guide me. I can use Nearwood to put everything, every single point in my presentation. Thank you very
Uh,
much.
Oh, great, great. That's really incredible, by the way. You really did a great job, and you're doing a great job. I really, I feel that it's an honor that I heard from you, and this is such a grateful comments. Yes, please. Anyone? Just one only, but
Hello.
hello?
Hello. I'm Alex.
Alex.
I think
Hi.
when we don't have a lesson plan, it's
Yes.
difficult to achieve the learning goals of the students, and
Yes.
also to address their learning needs.
Exactly. Exactly. Very
Yes.
nice.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Coming to the next point, the next question is what actually one word that comes in mind without lesson plan? Like when you hear a lesson, as the very first questions being discussed by the audience, and they came up with the very beautiful and amazing ideas. But what comes in your mind when you hear lesson plan? Oh my God! Sometimes for some teacher, it's so exhausting. It's so something like burn. Oh my, and I have to just create a lesson plan, even though what should I do? Oh my God, this is so headache. So what comes in mind? Yes.
Hello, can I talk, sir?
Yeah, please, please.
Uh, First of all, welcome to you, sir. Very nice.
Thank you very
This session, very wonderful session from your side, sir. So,
yeah, thank
I think the first question I just raised the hands, but I left it.
all
Without
right.
lesson plan, what we can do in classroom. I think the psychological aspects are very necessary part during
Ex-
teaching. We should
exactly.
understand the brain of the students, or the expectation of the students, what the student wants to gain
All
first.
right.
Then the lesson plan is the structure, is the plan that from the beginning and at the end, and where you start and where you to end, and
Mm-hmm.
what the object should comes, what the student can easily get. Uh,
Ah,
I think a
yeah,
lesson plan is the structure or the planning of the course or outcomes. Thank you, sir.
exactly. Exactly. Thank you very much for your time, and I really appreciate your ideas. It's really insightful. Okay, so the third and the last one, then we will be proceeding towards the lecture and presentations because we're gonna have a lot of discussions. By the way, I beg pardon. First, if I take some time, please do let me know that there are so many things we need to discuss. All right, so today we're gonna have an amazing audience, and they are having a very great time right now. And I'm also very happy to have such an amazing audience today in this presentation, by the way. All right, so what is the biggest challenge you face while planning a lesson? Just only one word answer, so we could proceed. One word, anyone. Biggest challenge you face while planning a lesson. What actually do you think in mind that, oh my God, this is the biggest challenge. This is the biggest problem. This irritates me a lot. So this should not be that great. So while planning and designing and writing using different PPT models are there. So yeah, what comes in mind first, and what challenge you face while planning a lesson?
Yeah, can I
We will be covering.
give my input,
Yeah,
please? Yeah, I
yeah,
would
yeah.
say mixed ability learners. So,
Uh-huh.
I would at times be in a fix how to inculcate differentiation in my lesson planning.
Exactly. Like differentiations. Yes, this is what we is very important from
Can
that
I
point.
say something? Can I
Yeah,
say
please,
something?
please.
What actually I think is like the need of every student. That
Yeah.
every student is different, and every student comes up with different ideas in their mind that what they want to learn. So this is what I think that what is preferable for all of the students that they can get each and everything, because I do not want to let my students down and even also myself too. So that's why this is the big struggle and deal in my head that that need of every student it should be done.
Yeah, very nice. Perfect. It's so amazing. Yes. One more answer, so we could just move ahead then. One more, please. Anyone? All right, fine, great. Okay, so let's move ahead. This is something about me, as Fazla has already introduced me so incredibly, by the way. And the topic for today's presentation is designing something like how can we design? What sort of things can we keep in mind to design a lesson plan? Lesson plan is something like a broader genre type lesson plan. It's something like not a single word. It's a whole, like you can say, I would say a big topic. It's a broader aspects and I would say a broader topic. It covers a lot of things, even though we have a different grades, grade one till advanced grades. So it depends psychologically if you think so. It is a very vast topic. Okay, first we will be covering how can we design it more accurately and perfectly, so we could meet the standards, because we are teachers. For example, if I'm a teacher, I may teach somewhere in different schools, different college, different university, different country. For example, if I consider any country, every school has their own policy and standards, but lesson plan is something that cannot be changed. But its structure may be changed, but we cannot neglect or ignore the importance of designing and creating something very important according to the student level, because we need to create as per the level of the students. We cannot create setting in room and just start what comes in mind and design and plan the lessons without navigating, without identifying, without recognizing the level of the students. So that's why it's a very, very, very important, I would say essential compulsory point for every teacher, single teacher, to make sure that how can we design and how can we put creativity while you know creating and designing the plan. So the topic covers PPP model. Of course, everyone will be familiar with these models, and also we'll be covering some other models associated with the PPP models. All right, so this is a little bit background as it's already done. Okay, so for today objectives, which is very important, and we will be trying to cover exactly lesson plan as most of the audience have and they share their insights about it, what actually lesson plan is, what they need to do, what they not to do, what comes in minds, what sort of challenges they face inside the class A. So these are the things, and we will be trying to cover the steps to, you know, to cover up and to overcome those problems while class without having any preparation for the plan. So we could also meet the standards, and we could also, achieve the goals of the classroom management, because it's something very important. Then second point, objective is learning activities. For example, when we are planning and designing up lessons, we need to recognize, we need to ensure that what sort of learning activities I'm supposed to organize, and how can I make it more engaging, because there are multi and bunch of methods and approaches in English literature, in educational field, or in the field of education, or you can say some other subjects where you can learn a lot of things. But how can we bring all those ideas, methods, techniques together to make, to design and to create a proper lessons in order to make it more engaging and meaningful manner? What do I mean by meaningful manner? Meaningful manner means something like we could just also achieve the behavioral approach, psychological approach, so we may not face the problem while teaching inside the classroom. And then the third objective is something like we will be focusing on the techniques. How can we apply some techniques so to make it more effective? Like you might have heard ABCD model or SMART. SMART is something like very old, I would say. It's very familiar, teachers are all familiar with it. But I mean that ABCD is also not that much old, but it's also very important. It has a very close connection connection with the smart. So we will be differentiating between these two techniques, and how can we design it while designing a lesson plan. How can we ensure and put these models to make it more effective to achieve the goal. And the four is something like challenges. As earlier in the brainstorming and the ice breaking activity, I asked that challenges. So there were some amazing audience. They came up with a very great insights and a very great ideas. So we will be trying to learn how many challenges do we face. For example, right after this session, I will be leaving one questions that, for example, if it comes to creating a lesson for grade 1 to grade 4, what sort of things can we keep in mind while preparing? So those challenges will be coming first. So we will be trying to overcome those challenges in today's session. Moreover, we will be having reflections, oral reflections from grade, as I have covered, from grade 1 to 4, and from grade 4 to 7, and to advanced like grade 12, and then university level. So it is varying. So we will be covering all the stuff. And the last but not least is something also very important. We cannot neglect the importance of each objectives. Everyone has their own, every objective has their own importance. But right now we're gonna have PPP and TTT model, which is something also very important, like in terms of testing and diagnostic of the students, and then ESA and TBL models. So before we delay, let's focus on the roadmap, what exactly the roadmap is. All right, so before I show the points, anyone can come up with the one-word idea that what do you see in the picture and what's happening there? Is it a class? Is it a kind of, primary class, elementary class, high level class? What sort of class is it? And what the teacher is doing and what the students are doing? Do you feel that teacher is well prepared? Do you feel that teacher is having a lesson plan?
Can I
Yes.
say something?
Yes, please.
I guess like it's a primary level and it's an interacting lecture that teacher is presenting because
Right.
of her gesture that she's showing that she is well prepared and she is giving her lectures in a way that she just wants everyone to be interacted with her. So that's what I feel after looking at this picture.
Amazing, amazing. Yes. One more audience, please, so we could then move ahead, please. One more audience.
I think she is using it as adjective mode.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you, please. Can you please repeat it?
I think she is using adjective mode of teaching.
Oh, great. Yes. So you mean that she's well prepared, right?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay, great, great, nice, great. Okay, so now see if we focus on the student need, how can and how can we fulfill the needs of the students, right? And how it will be done effectively during the class time. So this is what we need to support the student needs. Just first, we need to focus on the student needs. What are the needs? When we come to know or came to know, or when we recognize that, yes, these are the student needs, then we can easily create any lessons for any type of student. For example, in class, it's not important to have a brilliant students, all the brilliant students. Of course, if there's a class of 20 or 25 or 30, so yeah, there will be average, below average, brilliant, confident students, different level of students, because different cognitive activities will be there. So, but as a teacher, it is our responsibility to take the class as a whole and to understand and find the niche, I would say the gap inside the class related to the subject, whatsoever the subjects you are teaching, whether that is English, chemistry, or science, or any sort of subjects. It depends on the environment and the needs of the students. So when we about to design the appropriate learning activities inside the class, as you can see the picture, so it means that we need to also expect some sort of feedbacks from the students. Like earlier, one of the audience came up that when we plan a lesson, so we spend a lot of time on the lessons, beating our mind and, thinking different kind of ideas. So, okay, I could add this point, I could add this point, I would do JAXA classroom activities and then gallery walk, and then we have think peer share activities. But what happens at the end? Like we cannot achieve anything. Like students that say what we teach and then they get. So that's it. We see, oh my God, I spent whole night preparing the lesson and designing it, and I couldn't achieve the goal. Now, where the problem lies? The problem lies that how do you deliver, and how did you deliver? How did you manage the class? This is what we believe. This is what we need to care about, because it's important. It's fine that we design the plan. It's fine that we spend time, we burn the midnight oil, right? But we also need to get objectives. What is my objective? What is my goal? Am I creating this presentation well? Okay, I have done it, prepare it well, it's fine. Can I achieve the goal? Can I achieve the objectives of this? Can I achieve each points? So this is very important to focus on the student learning objectives as well in terms of feedback. Okay, so lesson something like addresses, and if we talk about the content, there are three main key components while addressing the audience or creating the lessons. The very first thing is content. Very, very important. You see, for example, when you sit in the library, right? And then you pick any book randomly. You see the page, and my God, this is the page. Okay, I can see the, some famous or renowned personality. But when you open the page or when you open the book, you see first the content. If it is attractive, if it is something like according to your mindset, if it is something according to the situation, what you're looking forward, you get attraction about that, So there is something behind it. There is some mind. There's something who wrote this. There's something who attracting you. It's something like a magnetic, right? So, and then you try to focus in read and you that way. So lesson plan should be like that. When we enter into the class with a lesson plan with full preparation, plan. Then we need to bring some sort of activities and assessment strategies and material resources, and also we can focus on the differentiations techniques. Earlier in the brainstorming and ice-breaking activity, one of the audience focused and mentioned this point, differentiation techniques, which is very important. We have to differentiate things from each other while achieving the goals. So while learning activities, we need to check the understanding of the students. How can we check the level of the students while preparing or before preparing the lesson plan? Right after preparing the lesson plan, what can we achieve inside the class or after the class? You can see here, there's some point. So before class, we think a lot of things, but during the class, all those things that were in our mind may not be in our mind at the same time. There are so many other things because someone may make a noise, someone may disturb you, someone come inside the class, someone may ask some lot of questions. You may get distractions, by the way. A sign of a good teacher is to have something in mind, rather focusing all the time on lessons, and also it helps to engage the students how they are doing, what sort of activities they're doing, so you can easily track it. But in previous session, I learned one of the most important element from the session of Dr. Clement is excellency. I learned one thing, that we need to have a very good connection with the students, not even inside the school. We also need to have a good connection when they leave the school, right after the school. So this is also very important. We need to have a follow-up message in terms of parents' involvement. You can say they're anyone who is in touch with you, not even in school. We need to follow up through school platform or through any digital tools or platform, so we could have chats with them what you have done. Otherwise, you may lose the objectives. You may sometime like you have worked hard and you may not achieve the goal. So this is also very important, a sign of a good teacher, by the way. Okay, so now we need to remember one thing, and that is, while preparing a plan, there are 6 points that is very important, and those points are like, you can easily look here and you can find out. The very first thing is clearly stated task, means content, you can say, or you can say anything that complex vocabulary should not be there, because if I'm designing a plan, I may not use big high frequency words to impress someone. No, we are not someone to impress someone or outside a source, something like that. We are someone to make some sort of creativity or make some sort of simple things for the students, so they could easily find the vocabulary, they could easily find and describe specific achievement tasks, whatever that is, whether that is descriptions, analysis, or evaluation. So it should be free from such kind of phrases or such kind of difficult vocabularies, or a substandard languages, which is something like very bad. Okay, so it should be free from these kind of stuff. This should be in mind. Second point is important learning goals. We need to clearly describe the essentials points in related to the course, because it is very much not stick to the course. It's something will depend on the course syllabus. For example, I myself, if I'm teaching somewhere in the British curriculum, or some teacher is teaching there in American curriculum, and someone is following national curriculum and something like that. So there is a difference. And mixed method is there. We cannot differentiate the techniques, but if we know these techniques, we can easily differentiate and we can easily mold it as per the standards, as per the level of the student. So these are the points very important to keep in mind while preparing. All in all, achievable and then demonstratable, and that should be very much accurate and demonstrable. So easily demonstrated, easily achieved, and easily observed. And there should be fairness, of course, fairness. All those students who are a part of the school, not even class, part of the school, few inside the class. So there can be disabled students. There can be students who may not be that much good. There can be students they may not be interested inside the class. As a teacher, if I have a plan for them, I need to engage all of the students apart from discrimination. Like, we cannot discriminate. We have to take a whole class and as one, so we could achieve the task, whatever the case is. And what I believe as a teacher, what I believe as a trainer, what I believe, for example, if I have a brilliant student, it's fine, it's okay for me. But if there's a student sitting in the corner, last corner, he's disabled, even can't move, can't read, something like unable to speak sometime, and he's a part of the class, what can we do with that students? It's my question from the audience. Please, anyone can mention, if there is a student inside the class and we have a strong plan, how can we adjust that students to engage him in proper, in fair way, in equitable way, please? Anyone, please? Any plan and any idea about that to make the class more engaged while having a strong planning? How can we entertain disabled students when we came across by chance? Yeah, please.
I think, sir, I will give the task to the students to see the situation that the student is capable of what, in which kind of class he can do it. And I divide the task into all the students according to the knowledge, skills, and capability.
Okay, great. That's nice. One more audience, please. Then we move ahead, please. I want you to engage you as well. I don't want to speak all the way, right? I also want you guys to engage, please. It's very important, and it's a very, interesting topic for everyone, because we cannot deny the importance of this topic. Yeah, it's applicable everywhere. One more audience, please. Anyone? I won't select anyone. Just come up and share your insight, please. Okay, please. Okay, fine.
I think she should engage them with group activities or pair activities, and she should also move around and observe the student if he or she is facing any difficulty, and she can guide them as well.
Okay, perfect. Fine. Great. All right. So, okay. Thank you for your time and for your answer. Okay, let's move ahead. And the last point is something linked to the course and program objective. This is one of the important point, which is the last point, but not least. Consider consider the broader goals. What are the course goals, program, and institutional goals? What are your goals? What are the course goals? And what is the institutional goals, by the way? There are three ways we need to keep in mind while designing a plan. The very first thing is not something like class, no. Something like program, no. You need to understand the institution, program, and standard as well. This is something very important for the teachers to link the plan with the different classes, so then we can achieve the objectives. Okay, it's very important. It's very famous, by the way. I think everyone is familiar with it, and everyone is using in this classes, which is, we call it Bloom's taxonomy framework in the lesson planning. Okay, so you can see here there are different levels. If we follow this and apply this method, I would say framework, while designing a plan, we can easily achieve what we want. Like you can see here, points, recall facts and basic concept, explain the ideas, and use information and take part, justify, and then if I make it more concise without delay, so we need to remind, understand, implement, analysis, so for example, assessment and creating. Now see, these are just words, and this should not be merely words. How can we make it utilize, and how can we implement it to achieve the goals? See, I'm a teacher. Let's take the case of IELTS class, right? I'm a teacher of IELTS, and you came in my class, and I have planned for you. Got it? And you just know that you have heard about people that, okay, this is IELTS, this is International English Language Test. It's only, taken for the international studies when someone dream to pursue master or PhD degree in somewhere in English countries. Only when some having come up with the rough ideas. But no one knows how can I pass the test with the good grades and 8 bands or 8.5 or 9 bands, right? I personally train PhD scholars. I personally taught, MPhil scholars, PhD scholars. I found a lot of gap in their writing comprehensions, in their reading comprehensions. So this is what we need to think about it. It's something not like for grades. It's something not like for different things. It's something like creativity. How can we make things creative, right? I will be teaching them, for example, essay writing. So how can I recall the facts about basic concept? I will remind them, okay, guys, hope you're doing well. This is me, Lukman, and I'm teaching IELTS. And today we would like to have a class on IELTS essay writing task 2, which is very important, and we need to take care about it. And you have to write 150 or 250 words. Right up, if I say write 250 and 300 words, they will be coming up and writing paragraphs. They don't know what should I do? What are the demands? What is the plan? What is the examination criteria? What is the parameters? How can we achieve the task? So as a teacher, it's very important to recall the facts, like the task achievement, the lexical resources, the grammatical accuracy, all the knowledge related to thing. So we could just recall those facts because they could know that, yes, this is all about it. This is not about the matter of PhD degree or MPhil degree. That is something different. That is something academic excellence. But what we need to do in order to get an access and success in life, these basic concepts are very important to implement while planning a lesson or delivering a lecture. Then we can explain the basic ideas accordingly to make them understand, and then we can implement every new things, like we can say that there is agreement essay, there is a discussion essay, there is cause and effect essay, there is persuasive essay, reflexive essay, imaginative essay, problem solution based essay. Now see, the student is something like, oh my god, there's something like essay. There are so many ways. I have to shift my mind from one place, and then I have to shift my mind from one place another place. So this is something like, understanding the situation, questions, and then solve a problem. Same happening with the lesson plan. So if we have a creative mind, we can easily deal different kind of students in different way. That's why it is called differentiation techniques or formative assessment. So I believe that it's now fine and done, and anyone is something like that. Okay, so we can plan learning activity to sequence the lessons in engaging and meaningful way. As you can see here, this is the class. I believe that this class of, like, we can say Montessori class, or grade 1, 2, 3 classes where teacher is standing and facilitating the student. Facilitation is something, facilitating someone is something, teaching is something. Like, there are different methodologies. I will cover it right now. So as we plan, like, these are the points we can see here. When we are planning, there are certain questions that comes in our mind. What can I do? What will I do to explain the topic? Sometimes we get confused. For example, if you consider the earth and space, or tenses, or any grammatical topics, or any topic from different subjects, what will I do to explain the topic? Something like that. But we have a clear plan. We have a clear roadmap, instructions. We can bring all those questions in a proper and sequence way. Then we can engage the audience. So what will I do to illustrate the topic? It's very important. See, selection of the topic, discussion is very important, then explanation, then example, then practical activities, then the class and real-time situations and life examples. Class should not be theory based. I believe that when planning a lesson, class should be divided in 3 broader categories. The first category should be theory, 20%. Second category will be like something like, practicality, practical things. What you discuss, now you need to engage them students in practical way, or either in many presentation, either through different peer activities or something like that. The third point should be feedback. Now you aim for feedback. What I discuss, can I get a feedback? Out of 100%, like out of 100, you may get 70% feedback. You can, 60% feedback, or 80% feedback, or sometimes 50% feedback. It's fine, totally fine. From the next day, for the next day, you will be prepared that, okay, this was my style of teaching. I got 50% response. Now I have to change the style. This is how we can help the students, and this is how we can deliver the topics. Okay, so and then during the class, while monitoring the class or designing a map, or we can say a lesson plan, we need to consider these learning activities while interacting with the content. So while creating the content, we need to be very clear about the practice. So we could give some time for students to practice and lecture. Then we need to design some quiz. Or for example, if you're teaching for advanced level, so you need to create a quiz for like through Google form, or you can say you can create a Google Sheets to get the response from the students and something like that. But I would appreciate this is something like recommendable for the advanced level students, like university students, not for elementary and middle students, right? Then student presentation is very important, like oral report, dictation, we can call it dictation, reading dictation, research oriented topics. These sort of things should be a part of the lesson plan. So I believe that this is something overall, if I summarize it, replica, which is something like real world phenomena that shows some sort of relationship between the course content and also the context and the concept of the students as well as the teacher. Then we can achieve the goals as a whole at once. I believe that this is something like very clear and important. Okay, let's come to the ABCD and SMART techniques. How can we differentiate it? What actually we can do with this? It's not something applicable for the like education. It can be apply in the business sector or any ICT sectors. We can use it according to the needs of the environment and situation. But right now we are educationalists. We are someone who are always a part of the class, who are always a part of the institute, always inside the class. So we need to focus on it, but we can also not ignore or neglect or deny the importance of the other factors as well. So why should we use the ABCD model? It is something like it help us while designing a learning objectives, not only clear the measured points, but also it specify the context of the learner. Like how ABC is something like a kind of approach. We can enhance the relevance and learning capacities in education sector, and then we can make it more authentic. So before we delay, so these are the points you can see here. Specific actions students should be able to perform and condition. So I believe that in as a whole, if I had to summarize it, ABC is something like A stands for like audience, behavior, conditions, and the degree of accuracy. So before like we delay, so let me just make it more clear that why we need it, what are the learning objectives and ABC model, and how can it help us when we are teaching from specific curriculum standards that need to be addressed. And then what could be the objectives of the learners will display upon the completion of the lessons, and also some basic strategies for the students. So we cannot deny the importance of the ABC criteria for all the candidates and the structure. So let me give you the examples. What are the steps while applying the ABC model? The very first thing is audience. For example, I'm a teacher. What are my audience? If I'm standing somewhere in the public sector, right? What are the objectives? If I'm explaining something, can I achieve the objectives? Can I achieve the goal? If I'm taking 20 minutes, 30 minutes, if I deliver 30-minute speech, if I don't have any proper plan, I may not get objective from the audience. Audience may be bored, audience may be confused, or audience may say that, excuse me, you were explaining in a very good way, but can you please, what was the theme of your presentation? What was the theme of your, this is what we believe in the audience approach. This is how this ABCD model help us while preparing and designing a plan. So we could first understand the objectives of the audience and the plan as well. Second thing is that behavior. So before we plan, we need to understand the behavior of the students. Sometimes they may confuse you, they may disturb you, they may make a noise, they may ask some irrelevant questions, something like that, apart from the plan. But we need to understand that what actions can we take? How can we represent some sort of things psychologically, so we could also achieve the behavior approach those students who are a part of the class. And then we actually look for the conditions of performances, like if I'm teaching somewhere in the class of grade 8 or 10 or A-level students or O-levels, I need to understand them, what materials I have selected. If I'm teaching IGCSE course, right, or American curriculum course, now this is very different. Now, if we believe that differentiation techniques could help us, then we will be just separating it from different standards, understanding the environment. And then before understanding the environment, it is important to understand the condition of the students, how they will perform right after delivering the lecture. So this is what we believe it in the C category. The last part of the ABC is something like stand for degree of accuracy. It is absolutely not that much important. Like it is absolutely not that much to achieve the goal 100 out of 100. No. For example, if you give the task to students, write an application of like anything, any type of application, and you give the limits of 150 or 20 or 200 words, and then instead of saying like that, we need to clear about the factors, which is very important and understandable. So we can easily create and we can easily understand the situation of the audience in order to master their understanding and performance level, right? So is something like we can achieve and we can understand. Before we move forward, so it is important to understand how can we state it and how can we make it objectives like that. See, in every objectives, in every content, you might have seen that upon completion of the course, student will be able to understand the units, blah, 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 what type of units, unit number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then once we finish the course, then the student will be able to understand these kind of chapters. You might have seen these kind of contents before starting or delivering the lecture. So here you can see here, if we select this topic, Earth and Space, for the different curriculum standards, upon completion of the learning experience, the learner stands for audience, means that what type of audience I'm going to teach. Then how will they be able to identify the planets, something like related to space science or something related to the Earth or something like that. And then system, or when shown pictures in this specific standard, which actually represents the condition of the students and performances being shown there, and getting at least 6 out of 8 correct means something like when they give the quiz, so it's something like degree of accuracy, how much understanding they have, what sort of performance they did in the classes, and how can they got and get the score out of 10. So this is something like ABC help us while understanding and we can creating the standards inside the classroom management in order to have monitor and observation. So this is a smart techniques, which is something like very much I would say important, of course, because apart from this, without this technique, we cannot achieve anything. So smart is something like specific. We need to be very specific with the topic. For example, if I'm designing a plan, I need to be very specific with the grades. If I'm designing a plan for grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and 4, first of all, I need to be specific in what way? Specific means that I have to select a topic as per the units, as per the standards, as per their levels. And I need to be very much clear about the objectives, like means, criteria. Measurable means how can I access, how can I track their criteria, how can I check their scoring, how can I give the task, how can they achieve, how can I make them capable while improving their reading skills, writing skills, and speaking skills. This is what actually smart techniques model help us to make it more creative and effective, to bring clarity, focus, and for both teachers and students. We cannot deny it. It's something not for limited for teachers, but also very helpful for the students. It also helps us in educational goals. We need to be very relevant and also achievable to be realistic in completing the stories or something like that. Time bound means that it's something like we need to give the deadlines for every students or teachers before submitting the assignments, home task, or anything. So we could have a clear plan while preparing a plan for any type of standards or any grades. I believe that this is something like important. Okay, this is all right. I would like to request everyone if there is any questions till now before we proceed with the challenges. So let's have a short break. I want to engage you guys as well. Before we move forward, anyone who is having any sort of questions right here can raise their hand and they can come up and we can have discussion for 2 minutes. Or if you want, we can have discussion later. But I believe that till now I spoke a lot, and I want to listen from you guys as well. Please, anyone can come up with any type of ideas. If we want to share something like that related to it, yes, please, you're welcome. Fazla, it's over to you, please.
Yes, Mr.
Yeah, please. It's all fine.
Yeah, it's going great.
Oh, that's a great. Thank you very much. Let's move ahead. All right.
Uh,
So let's focus on the common challenges. Something like what challenge we face while planning a lesson, right? Because it's something like very important. Challenges is everywhere. Obstacles are everywhere. Teaching job is something like, I believe that it's something like very. Sometimes people say that teaching is very easy. Sometimes people look at us, oh, they are just going to school and they just take the class and so relax and something like that. I believe that once you come inside the class, you will see how do you deal the teachers and students and faculties and all administration roles, right? But it's very important to fix the things. It's something not like that. We need to be very creative, by the way. Okay, just kidding. Time. Time is very important. What do I mean by time? Time means that creating a schedule, proper schedule, and lesson planning that can help teacher to focus on the task. So if I'm planning something, if I'm creating a quiz or any sort of a link for the students, so I need to give the time. So they could also generate some sort of ideas. So yeah, tomorrow is going to be a quiz, tomorrow is going to be a test or something like that. It's included in the plan. So we need to be very careful while designing such kind of things. Time is very important. That should be properly clearly mentioned. Using templates is another great idea. What do I mean by template? Template means that you can take help from AI, chat gpt, or Gemini or something like that. There are so many we can say platforms in today's world. In the era of technology, we can take help. If I consider proper lesson plan format, I believe IGCSE, what I teach, because I'm academic director, this is sometime like I create and policies, I implement the policies. What I learn from them, they follow the same standards, but the style of creating is different. They create things in a very comprehensive way. There's a whole form you will be just checking. But if you see, there is a standards, like see they follow step by step rules. In celta course, there are so many amazing audience and trainers right here. They are certified trainers. They have done their delta courses or celta courses. They know well that when they are designing a plan, when you're interacting with the trainers and international trainers there, they know that yes, these are the things that is very important while creating a plan and designing a plan, any type of plan. So we need to first create something like good templates and time, so we could easily create and save the time. Student engagement. We also need to focus on the student engagements in order to consider creating lesson plans for them. And hands-on learning activities, it should not be like more theoretical, like something like you just come up in the class and you follow the GTM method, grammar translation method, which is outdated. I don't believe in this method, by the way, but I believe it for the grade 1, 2, 3. But from onward grade 4, I don't believe that it's something like a good method to be applied inside the classroom management. But what I believe that is CLT method, TPR method, that is very, something like engaging. So we need to focus on such kind of productive research-oriented goals so we could achieve the goals and points. Limited resources. Yeah, teachers have sometimes limited resources. They face problem. Oh my God, I haven't gotten access to this source. I don't have this thing. So when you don't have resources, then a teacher should be very creative to think creatively. But right now, everything is very easy, by the way. It's the era of technology. Excuse me. All right. So this is the era of technology. And then in the era of technology, everything is available on the fingertips. So don't need to be worried about that. If you have limited resources, I am, why am I selecting and raising and highlighting this point? This is just because of the teacher who are teaching somewhere in the remote areas, where they don't have an access to the internet. They don't have access to the limited sources, workshops, they don't have access to the important things. Now, see, during the lecture, again, it's an honor and privilege that, see, this is the platform. This is what actually an idea that someone has created. Now we are, connecting from different part of the world and learning from each other. This is what we need. This is what we call it resources. This is what we can learn from each other. That's why in this era we don't limit our thoughts. Knowledge is something like everywhere. So if we plan, so we can easily engage and understand the situation. Diverse student needs, of course, and then we need to focus on the formative assessment. I believe that the very first session was about formative assessment. I just forgot the name of the trainer, but I think he did a great job. And then he explained everything in detail, that about how can we assess the students, how can we flexibly group the students, and how can we adapt the content by following different instructional standards, and also different rules and regulations as per the standards of the schools, curriculums, and all stuff while preparing the plan. Okay, this was something about the challenges. So it's a little bit, a kind of a lesson plan for different grades. So you can see here. All right, these are some pictures, which is what we believe in a creative, important, and important way, and friendly, important environment is something like that. For example, if I'm teaching before class, I need to be careful about everything, and during class, I need to fill the gap, and then we need to focus on the structure. For example, if I have taught, so I believe that my students should be able to say that yes, now I can collect information. For example, if I have studied and taught mathematics for different standards or primary school, right? So the students should be able, I have to know about this objective. I need to have clear goals about it, that yes, right after finishing my class, my student will be able to say that yes, now I can collect the information and use it to make a picture, graph, or anything in the class, and individually. So this is what we need to do when I teach and I get the feedback. So this is what I got. This is what I fulfill the responsibility, and I got the full-fledged response from the students for the middle class, for the middle students, and for the high level school students. So it's same very accordingly. So I believe that in every field of life, in every field of sector, it's very important to have a specific plans for different grades, starting from primary till advanced. So we need to understand. So it should not be like during class process. It should be like something, it actually resembles, it actually shows, and it actually symbolizes that we need to have connection with the students right after the class, either through chat, through connection, through school platform or something like that. It's very important in that way as well. Okay, so let's focus on the proper PPP models that help us to present something in detail. Actually, what exactly it is, it's something like presentation, practice, and production. When we are preparing a plan, so we need to be very careful to understand and to identify the major factors while creating a framework in ESL classroom management, because communicative language teaching methodologies is something like an umbrella that help us to follow the step-by-step process in the total physical response. Okay, what is the weak area? What are the strong area? So if we focus on the most important factors, here you can see the proper theories, you can say proper understanding here, and you can see there some words teachers need to master. Yes, of course, teachers need to master it. But before that, let me give you example. If I'm a teacher, I have to warm up. See, I'm a person. So it's something like presentation. I'm presenting something for the lower grades, for the higher grades, or for the advanced level grade students, right? I need to explain the topic very carefully, and those topics should be carefully and clearly mentioned in the lesson plan. And then pronunciation lessons should be clearly mentioned there if I'm teaching English. And then I can easily organize scaffolding techniques for them to present in a proper way. So I am a person, the first person who is going to present it, because I'm a trainer, I'm a teacher, and I'm a facilitator. Second, if we come to the practice proper way, so how can we understand to take the class as a whole, to move into the classes, to make some groups. We can say inject a classroom, nominating some leaders, nominating the most brilliant student for the group, and then giving them the task, and then divide the topic. This is how we can achieve this task by applying these methods on this plan inside the class. And then the last point is something like you, which is something not me, not we, it's only you, only one student, right? So then that student would be very careful. Oh my God, now it's my turn. The teacher will be asking some questions from me. I have to produce new thing. I have to talk about the grammar because the topic was a grammar. I have to be very careful about pronunciation because teacher is something like standing in front of me. I'll be coming in front of the class and presenting. This is how we can achieve the goal while designing a plan. So this is what I believe, that it is one of the most important factor and framework while considering while preparing the plan to be considered live. Right? So this is something like this technique is something like a little bit different from the previous one. How? Because it's something like we understand and we want to check someone's knowledge. Something like, for example, if we have a teacher, we want to have an interview with them. But if we want to check student capabilities in the class in order to check their subject knowledge or something like that, we first test. Then when we test, then we start thinking in our mind, preparing the plan accordingly, according to the concept. And as I already discussed it earlier, that now I see, okay, this student is somehow weak in grammar, good in reading, good in speaking, but something like, lacking some sort of, listening capabilities. He is unable to listen well. So I have to be very careful to manage. And these are the ways to make him, to make his class more engaged. And I have to make these points more important to be recognized inside the class to understand the level of the students so they could be able to give the feedback. That's why we first test, and then we understand the knowledge, and then we start taking the decisions of the students. This is how you can see best grammar and vocabulary, faster identifications, good for intermediate, and also weekend stuff. So I have mentioned here, I applied this method in the IELTS class in the standard classroom activities. So this is what I believe, that they are professional. This is not something like recommended for the grade 1, 2, 3 students because they're very weak. They don't know nothing, like their starting age, right? But it should be applicable for the grade 9, 10, 11 and onward. That's why it is a standardized point that need to be acknowledged. Okay, this is the second last ESA method tools, which is usually happen and utilized in the you can say heavy classroom management, like we can see universities, you can say research projects. Sometime teacher comes and they give different kind of journals, articles, and they say that now you have to read more than 10 and 15 articles, and they have a career plan for that. And then you say, oh my God, it's something like bad. But if you have a clear plan for that, how can you engage that students? How can they study those research articles? And how can you activate their minds, their capabilities? This is how you can do it accordingly while planning these things. So what I believe that this is it's something like study heavy lessons for the research oriented students and the as well as trainers as well. It usually happens there and the higher level. So this lesson plan actually applicable for the high level students, not for the primary or elementary students. Okay, so while planning, so this is the last but not least, it's something like we can say task-based learning. So task-based learning is something very famous, and also it is applicable in Canada, in mostly Canadian schools and government schools. The sponsor ESL programs, they follow these techniques, right? So they focus not even though on a single students, but they just understand the whole environment, educational goal, as we discussed earlier. That's why TBL method plays a vital role in every field of life. So if we consider the concept about it, so we can talk about the pre-task management. You can say task for the students, planning and creating, and we can say report, or also we can say language focus, which is something like optional. So in these points, we first teacher, what do teacher do something like introduce the topic, present the model, and activate the learning activities, like in terms of vocabulary, any type of setting stage communications and all stuff. That's why it is important in the TBL task. Something like task is very important. Task work is in peer group to complete the task, which is something planning, creating, and deciding. So okay, so let me ask a short a brief question from you guys, that out of these points, which core step do you think that is very, very much important a part of the rest of the model, please, in the field of education? What do you think this is very much least important part of the teaching or training? Yes, please. Anyone? Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Mhm. Anyone who would like to come up with the ideas that, excuse me, sir, yes, I believe that task is very important. How? I believe that planning is something like that. Or we can say that all the points are important in the task cycle while deciding to give the task to the students or any trainers or any professionals while achieving the goals, while planning a lessons. Yes, I want to listen from the audience, by the way. It's very important to have a engaging conversation. All right, no problem. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, so Fazla, excuse me, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, Lubna.
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, great. Okay, sometime there can be network problem.
Sir,
That's
we
why.
are available.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so see, this is the chart where you can see if I go back, this is something like that. But if you focus on the table here, so we can see that we need to give the pre-task assessment for the students. And during task, what we can do, we can realize their strength and their weaknesses. Got it? As per the plan. And then we can start preparing them accordingly. And then we can give the post-task activities, which is something like planning, creating, and then designing, and then establishing. So pre-task is something like we can give any type of topic. Like, for example, if I'm teaching IELTS class of writing, I will first say, excuse me, students, now I cannot say like that, write 300 words essay. They don't know about the essay, what exactly essay, what are the type of essay. I would first say, all right, can you please write one paragraph about any topic? I'm not specifying the topic. Any topic, you can write one topic. So I could assess you that what's the level of your accuracy and writing comprehension. This is what we can call a pre-task. Then we will start analyzing and thinking in our mind that, okay, what should I do? How can I make it more productive? And then how can I analyze their skills and how can I make them understandable about the topic so they could practice later when they are going to focus on the language. So that's why it is important in the classroom environment to apply the TBL method to make it more accurate and creative to achieve the goal of different standards. I just gave you the example of I, not absolute example. By the way, there are so many other examples you can take from your area of interest or from the area of courses. Okay, so this was something like about the last stage of the PPP and ESA and models. Okay, if we revisit to the objectives, so we can say that these are the topics that we cover most during our conversation and discussion. So now I want everyone, all right? Silence is something good happen, but I don't want to be silent. I don't want you guys to be silent here. I don't want to talk with you guys, right? So you need to talk with me. Now we have covered all these objectives and it is already visible in front of you. What objective do you think is more challenging while designing a plan? Yes. Now it's gonna be for 2 minutes conversation and cross conversation, right? Anyone can come up, please, one by one. As per according to your experience and the current discussion. Yes, please.
Ma'am, please unmute yourself and talk. Ilam, ma'am.
Yes, please. Yes, in chat box you can also mention, but I believe that if you unmute your voice, so you can come up with the idea, so I could hear you, so we could just move forward, please. Anyone? Fazla, is there anyone?
Actually, Ilam, ma'am raised her hand, but she's not talking.
All right, should I move ahead?
Mr. Alex, please unmute.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
For me, because I teach one-on-one classes to Chinese young learners, for me, the challenge in general is to engage them, because
Mm,
as I don't speak, and to plan all these activities and to switch quite fast to adapt to their needs, because they are quite eclectic. Sometimes
yeah.
they can master a subject,
Mhm.
but they won't master another one. So
Yeah.
for me, I think this is the most important, to engage them and to make them produce an output, to produce some words, conversation, anything.
All right. That's something great. I really appreciate. Yes, please. Thank you,
Uh,
Alex.
Sir, may I?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, actually, for me, the biggest objective for creating a plan is how to make the easy thing out of a lesson.
Uh-huh.
Because
Yes.
sometimes students couldn't get ourselves, we just teach them and
Uh-huh.
they get nothing.
Hmm.
So the thing is, the first primary objective for me is to make the things easy and smooth and comprehensible for them.
All right. That's something great. Yes, this is what important for a good teacher, and this is a sign of a good teacher to make things more easier rather focusing or giving complex ideas and vocabulary. Yeah, I appreciate it. Very nice. Yes, one more audience, please. Anyone? Okay, great. Okay, let's move ahead. All right, this is something like we're about to end, and then okay, so this is the final action plan. So as I asked earlier, that select one pedagogical framework, as one of the audience have selected one, like someone was saying that challenges, someone says that we can make it more easier. But you believe that support effective learning. Discuss how this framework guides you to teach or teaching methods, classroom activities, and assessment strategies. This question should not be ignore right now. It should be answered, and I want more than 5 participants to give reflections or answers on our ideas or opinions on this, please, apart from the sixth part of the objectives we covered earlier. Yes, please. Anyone? Which one you select and why?
Sir, can you please repeat the question?
The question is in front of you. Like, for example, if you select any objectives, let me just go back to the objectives. If you select any one of it, anyone, why would you select it? What would be the reason, and what would be the objective of that objectives for your lesson plan?
Actually, the second last one, B for me. The
All right.
reflection on lesson
Lesson.
planning for different grades means that I
Okay.
cannot go for the same lesson plan with every class or every grade. There are different grades, so I have to create different level based plannings.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Yeah, that's something very great. Okay, one audience, thank you very much for your insightful thoughts and ideas and your active participation. Now,
Mr.
yes, second
Danish,
audience.
please unmute and talk.
Yeah.
Yes, can I say something?
Yeah, yeah, please. You're welcome.
Okay, for me, reflect on making a lesson plan effective ABCD. This was
Mhm.
a That was great and wonderful idea. A B C D. I never thought and never listened before. It's the
Oh,
first time ever I just listened, and
uh-huh.
I'm going to apply these things in my classroom. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
great. Nice, great. Now, third audience, I want five, right? Now it's something like third. Thank you very much for your time. Yes. Okay. Anyone? All are silent, by the way. Fazla, you want to share something?
Yes,
Yes, please.
Alex, please
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
Please go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so for me, as I mentioned, I think the second point, plan specific learning activities in an engaging and
Yeah.
meaningful manner. I think this is the most important for all students that I have, because there are many distractions nowadays, and you have to find the right way to connect with them.
Yes.
And so when you have just when you don't have that student on a regular basis, because I work on the platform, is
Yeah.
even more difficult. You have to find some, like, you need a magic wand just to make some magic
Yeah.
in that moment, so you can make mm, a good learning experience for the student. It's quite
Oh,
challenging. Thank you.
yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great. Great. Yes, Fazla.
Yes. I hope using PPP, TTT, ESA, and TBL models will be very helpful because it will keep the classroom very engaging.
Yes. All right. Okay. Thank you very much for your idea and for your time. And let's go ahead. And then we are about to finish. And then this is the final message by William Shakespeare, which is my favorite person, right? So ignorance is something that curse of God, right? We cannot ignore something like that. But if we have knowledge, knowledge the wing. We fly to heaven. So it's a very deep line, but it's something like I've edited and we can apply it accordingly. So I'm highly grateful to all of you for your time, for listening, for participations. I'm highly grateful to everyone. And yes, please, it's over to you. It's over from my side. It's over to you, Fazla. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Danish, do you have anything to share? You have raised your hand.
All right, please. Anyone?
Okay. Okay, Mr. Rukman, a huge thanks for this awesome session. We have learned so much about lesson planning today. We have learned many techniques and how to work on lesson plan in a very good way. Thank you so much for that. Is there any
Thank you.
question from participants?
Yes.
If you have any question, please unmute and talk before we wind up.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Mine is just appreciating of what you have taught us. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. I have learned a lot that I didn't know about ABCD techniques.
Great.
Back here in Kenya, I will use the techniques. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome. I highly grateful for your thoughts. May Allah bless you. And of course, uh, I'm highly grateful for everyone having here. Thank you, Mr. Tahir Awan, for your
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your time, for precious time. Very
yeah.
house.
Thank you,
Nice,
Danish.
very
Thank you,
nice.
Danish. Thank you,
I can,
Danish.
it was splendid, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we wind up, I request you all to turn on your webcam so we can take some screenshots.
Yes, please.
Sima, can you please take the screenshots?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Done. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sima. Thank you so much.
thank you, everyone. Thank you
Yes.
for your time.
Thank you so much for putting in the time to show up for today's session. I'm going to share a link with you all. You have to fill the link, fill the form, Google form, and submit it within 24 hours. So you will receive your certificate. I know we have not received our certificates for the past two sessions. We are facing some technical issue. So please bear with us and please be patient. You will receive your certificate very soon. We are working on it. And thank you so much.